What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and in this video I talk about something really crazy that I did. I know a lot of people aren't going to believe it, but I sort of started an OnlyFans agency, and in this video you're going to find out exactly what happened. So I'm going to make this short, I'm going to make this sweet, and I'm going to get straight to the point. I know I'm fired up to tell you the story. I hope you're fired up. Let's go and do this. All right, so before we get into one of the pages for one of the models that I'm actually managing, let me talk about the problems with OnlyFans. And I don't want to say the problems, but there's 5 things that people fail to tell you before you even start with OnlyFans. And those 5 things start off with the fact that it is overhyped beyond belief. So why am I saying this? Well, I will say this much. Upon doing the research and kind of coming up with this idea, as most of you guys know, I try to investigate almost every potential opportunity out there, and I put my money where my mouth is, or I put my money on the line to verify whether or not it is a legit way to make money. So what I saw when I was looking to getting into this is it was clearly overhyped. And what I mean by that is that you see all sorts of creators selling courses or talking about how to do this in general, and a lot of them overhype it. What I found as I began to go through some of these courses or some of this online material is that most people weren't really true marketers. They were just putting shit together out of their ass and trying to make something up and then trying to repackage it and sell it. And I took a look at their OnlyFans only to be utterly disappointed and really left with my scratching my head wondering, like, is this all there is to OnlyFans? Is it really about being popular on Instagram and then just driving traffic to your OnlyFans page? Can't someone that has a marketing background do better? So I was left with a countless amount of questions that I just literally had to jump and dive right in and get into the thick of things and figure this out. So obviously I took on a partner and I did this together, and we soon realized that it was going to take 2 of us, as there was all sorts of problems that people had not told us that we were going to face once we jumped headfirst into this. And so that brings me to point number 2. Once you do deep dive into it, you soon become to realize what a true, real business this can become if you put the right time into it, if you put the effort into becoming an overall better marketer, and if you use some of the things that you've learned in the past from either other endeavors and or you just have the savvy to be able to figure this thing out and really want to jump into it. Because one thing that you'll soon begin to realize is when you do jump into it, a lot of the girls that are in the industry, all they're good is creating content. That's all they're good at. They're good at doing just that part. They don't want to have any of the hassles that come with being an OnlyFans model, which can include having to chat up their customers, having to do mass messaging, having to come up with upsells, and then having to manage their existing fans and are driving traffic and doing promotions and things like that, tracking what they're doing, and all sorts of automation that involved outside traffic. So there's a lot of different intricacies involved where it could just make a model's head spin, particularly if they're really brand new and they just started and all they want to be concerned with is creating content. So the beautiful thing about OnlyFans is really there's nothing regulating it. So unlike Amazon and Walmart and all the other traffic sources or platforms out there that are available to make money, there's nothing that's regulating it. So not only can you use traditional marketing on it, which is white hat sources, which is all legitimate marketing, you can also do some black hat marketing. So for those people that don't know what black hat is, it's just like almost like you pay a seedy guy that possibly scraped all these Instagram handles, and then you can just send a blast out DMs to them and do things like that. So that's like black hat. It really is against the terms of service of the site, but since OnlyFans doesn't really care, you can't get suspended for doing it. Obviously, if Instagram catches you in the instance that I just described, then you could certainly get a ban from there. But in general, you don't have to worry about OnlyFans, as they're probably even cheering you on to do this. Whereas if you were doing this on Amazon or Walmart, you're gone, you're donezo. One fourth point that I want to bring, and then I'll get to the final point, and then I'll show you one such girl. I'll talk about a couple of the girls that we managed, is that in general, become accustomed to being an HR manager. You're going to be an HR manager on steroid, because I'm telling you, these girls come with a ridiculous amount of problems. They are a headache to handle, and they are by far the most difficult thing to manage in all of OnlyFans. You'll get a handful that are really good, and God bless those girls. God bless their parents. God bless their work ethic and everything. But you're going to get a lot of problem children that really have a very little mindset, and they just don't have a clue what the hell's going on, and they're going to be all sorts of work. So immediately, once you start this, you have to come to the understanding that there's going to be girls that can make you some money just because they have a look that fans like. They have kind of dirtiness about them, but if you hang on to those girls, they're going to end up destroying you because they're going to take far too much of your time. Whereas if you get a workhorse girl, you're going to thank your lucky stars. You're going to thank baby Jesus. You're going to thank the Mother, Holy Mary, everyone for this girl. And she might not make as much money. So we've had that happen several times already within the 30 days that I've been doing this, where we just had to axe a girl that was just pumping out money, and it hurt. I've learned my lesson many times. I even told my partner in one instance, like, let's just give her another chance. And sure enough, she failed us again. So this happens a number of times. It just recently happened with the girl that I was talking about, which I don't even want to talk about anymore. I've had too much time to talk about her and to think about her and just be done with her overall. So just remember that your primary job is going to be an HR manager on steroids. And so brings me to the fifth and final point, and then I'm going to show you one of the girls that we kind of stuck it out with that has had almost 138% increase in her total overall earnings, as well as a 178% increase, something like that, in her subs or her fans. And that is, once done properly, this can be a real huge business. As I said before, I've only been doing this for 30 days, but in 30 days, I've learned so much. I've been able to use a lot of the skills that I knew at marketing to begin with to be able to grow this at an exponential rate and be able to recruit many girls a day now. And there's a few that have been with us since the beginning that we just had to get rid of. And there's a few that are still with us. And really, the name of the game has become filtering out to keep the right girls, the kind of girls that are going to put the work out that you need them to put out, and the kind of girls that are going to make you money in the long run versus the problem girls who might pump money out in the short term, but eventually they're going to give you problems and they're just not worth the hassle. So right here, I'm just going to show you one such girl, and I'll just jump straight into her statistics. So right here, I'm going to show you one such girl, and I'm pretty much in her statistics. And let's look at her. In general, when we first got started with her, she was at about 1,100. So let me do the custom look at her last, her October. So we'll look at her October, because technically October was the first month that she was with us altogether. So this is October. She did 3,800 in gross, which is $3,084. You can see 129 increase according to OnlyFans on what they say happened here. Her subscription is up 24%. That's because we did offer a promo, but her messages were up 272%. And if we take a look at the number of her fans, she got 148 fans. And when we first started with her, she had a total of 60 fans. So altogether, OnlyFans is saying about 129% increase. I believe that in her subscriber base, it was about 178%. But as you can see, the majority of the money in OnlyFans is made from these private messages. And she did over a 272% increase in these private messages. And this is just with still me having to figure it out shit with my partner, with him having to figure out shit. We didn't really know anything at all about this coming in. Her earnings the month that we got her were like 1,100 or like 12. Let's take a look at what the previous month was. It was 1,300, 1,600 gross, so 1,600 to 3,800. That's a lot more than an increase that I talked about last time. And you can see she had just switched over. She was doing things on her own. She couldn't handle it. She came to us and had her best month yet. No, she actually had a better month the first month that she started, which was about a year ago. So usually if you start OnlyFans, you get a huge boost in OnlyFans on your first 30 days or so. It's kind of like the account was born, so they give you a bonus. So again, she did her best this past month that she done other than in her first month. So Only is going to grow up more and more. And right now she's at 3,500, so about the same. So she's only going to grow more and more. She's got an increase in tips and messages and everything, and that's kind of how it is. The other girl that we had to let go, we have several more that are in the pipeline, but the other girl that we had to cut was her month when we got her. She was at 3,000. 15 days in, she was at 9K. So that's a pretty significant growth, but we had to cut her at the end of the month because just her total performance dropped off because she just wasn't willing to do the content. She was lazy. So that's what can typically happen with these girls is some of them just aren't going to be willing to do the work. You want to stick with the workhorses and only go with those. And that's pretty much how it's been so far on my journey with OnlyFans. And you know, because of the fact that I'm kind of getting to handle this, it's like a lot of fun for me. We're going to continue to move forward with the experiment, but I'm going to create an entirely new YouTube channel, and I'll let you guys know very soon what that channel is going to be that is going to document my journey doing this OnlyFans agency and letting you know how it goes. But other than that, let me know what your questions and comments are below. As you know, I always will investigate every potential business opportunity out there, put my money on the line, and show you guys what happens. But I'm excited to answer these questions and comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.